All right, let's talk about a piece of medical tech that's making a pretty huge leap. I mean, it's moving from the hospital lab right into our own homes. We're talking about the Dengue Self-Test. And, this could completely change how we fight one of the most common viral infections on the planet.
You know that feeling, right? You get hit with a sudden spiking fever. Then the headache kicks in, the body aches, and that one question just starts screaming in your head. Is this just a really bad flu, or could it be something more, like dengue?
And with dengue, that uncertainty isn't just stressful, it's genuinely dangerous. The line between just needing to stay hydrated at home and ending up with a life-threatening complication, well, that often comes down to just one thing: speed. How fast can you get an answer? Because with dengue, speed is everything.
So how do we get that speed? Well, the answer is going to feel surprisingly familiar to all of us. We're talking about a test that works a lot like those COVID antigen tests we've all gotten to know so well.
Okay, so the tech behind this, it's pretty much identical to a COVID rapid test. It's called a lateral flow test, which, is really just a fancy way of saying a liquid sample flows across a little strip and gives you a result. Simple as that. But there is one major difference. You're not using a nasal swab. For this one, you need a single drop of blood from a quick finger prick.
But wait a second. How can a single drop of blood tell you if you have dengue? I mean, what's it actually looking for? To get that, we need to peek behind the curtain and see what the test is searching for inside your body.
This timeline pretty much lays it all out. See, early on in an infection, we're talking the first week, the dengue virus itself starts releasing this specific protein called the NS1 antigen. You can think of it like the virus is leaving behind its calling card, a fingerprint. Then, a few days later, maybe around day 4, your body's defense system kicks in and starts making antibodies to fight back. The really smart tests, they're designed to look for both of those clues.
And that NS1 antigen, that is the absolute game changer. Because it's a direct piece of the virus itself, finding it means you've got an active infection, and you can find it at the earliest possible moment. We're talking sometimes on the very first day you feel sick. This is the early warning system we just haven't had before.
And that's exactly why the best kits out there are called combo tests. It's simple, really. They're built to catch both that super early NS1 signal and the later antibody response from your body. When you look for both, you just get a much wider and more reliable window to catch the infection.
Okay, so let's get down to it. What's the real-world impact here? Why does getting an answer in 20 minutes, right in your own living room, actually matter so much?
Well, it creates this incredibly clear, potentially life-saving pathway. Think about it. You feel sick, you do the test, and boom, within 20 minutes, you have a result. That single piece of information empowers you. You can stop wondering, stop worrying, and start acting. You can pick up the phone and call a doctor right away. And that immediate action is what lets doctors step in early and prevent the worst-case scenarios, the really dangerous outcomes of dengue.
Okay, now this next part is maybe the most important thing we'll talk about. These tests are amazing tools for sure, but they come with rules. And I want to be crystal clear, these are not suggestions. They are absolutely essential for using these things safely and correctly.
Let's call them the 3 golden rules, and they are non-negotiable. Rule number 1, if you get a positive result, you must see a doctor, period. Rule 2, a negative result does not mean you're in the clear. It's not a get-out-of-jail-free card, especially if you test really early. And rule number 3, the big one, this test is a screening tool. It is not a diagnosis. The final word, the actual diagnosis, always comes from a doctor.
This quote really just sums it all up perfectly. The whole point of this test is to get you to the doctor faster and with more information in your hand. It's not here to replace your doctor. I love this analogy. Think of it like a smoke detector. It's brilliant at telling you there might be a fire, but you still have to call the fire department to put it out.
When you zoom out, this dengue test is so much more than just a new gadget. It's a signpost for a massive shift in how we think about our health, a shift that's moving healthcare from the clinic right into our homes. I mean, think about it. For decades, if you needed a test, it was step 1. You went to a big central hospital lab. Then things got a little better. It moved closer to us, into local clinics. That's what they call point of care. But now, we're firmly in step 3. The lab is no longer a building. The technology is moving all the way into our hands, literally. And the benefits of this shift are just huge. On one hand, it takes a massive load off of crowded clinics and hospitals. It frees them up to focus on the really severe cases. But I think even more importantly, it puts the power back in our hands. It gives us as individuals more control and really encourages us to be proactive about our own health. And if you want a sense that just how big this is, look at the numbers. In a place like Thailand, where dengue is a major concern, the market for these tests is already worth over 800 million baht. That's not just a product, that's a movement. It shows you how significant this healthcare revolution is becoming, especially in the places that need it the most.
So yeah, the era of home diagnostics, it's not science fiction anymore. It's sitting right there in our medicine cabinets. And that leaves us with a really big question, doesn't it? What does it actually mean for our health, for our society, for our entire relationship with medicine, now that the power of the lab is finally in our own hands?